Reloading. Cover. Get behind cover when you reload. Set. Move, Anthony. Move. Get behind cover, pick up fire. Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. So today's topic is going to be a continuation of a series of videos that I want to do, and that is on the different genres of rifle setups that you are going to be seeing on the channel or that you have already seen on the channel. So before I did the GPR shootout comparison, where we showcase the different general purpose rifle setups that we have and kind of the use case for those particular weapons. And today we're going to do the same thing with what I call the close quarters fighting rifle. That is the setup that you are seeing before you here today. So what is a close quarters fighting rifle? Essentially, it's going to be a weapon system that is going to greatly excel at distances, room clearing distances, vehicle distances, basically within 50 yards. And you're still going to be able to realistically PID and reach out and connect with targets out to about, say, 200 yards. Generally speaking, the type of person that this particular rifle setup is going to more so cater to is to you guys that are living in areas where it is a whole lot more dense vegetation, where you're not going to realistically be able to reach out to any kind of distance and engage. So this setup, being short, being able to move through the brush, is going to be something that's going to be really good for you. Now, a couple of things that I personally like to run on my rifles, and that is, again, it's just going to be something that's tailored to me. Don't take my word for it. Figure out what works best for you as the end user, but I could just kind of give you a general guideline for what we have found works for us with this particular rifle setup. Now, generally speaking, I'm going to set up my rifles like this as to be more or less a very night vision friendly gun. And that is why you're going to see stuff like the optic height that I have on here, as well as a laser aiming module,
in here.
and then multiple different points to activate said laser aiming module, as well as white light capabilities. 50% of the day is shrouded in darkness, and it's good to have a white light on your gun. So the setup that I've got here on top, I've got an Aimpoint T2 on top of a Knights Skyscraper or high rise, whatever the nomenclature is for these particular mounts. A couple of really cool things about this mount is if you're a guy that runs iron sights, You'll be able to still look through your iron sights because they will peek underneath the optic here. They will still be usable with your 226 height mounts versus your 193 where they are not. But one of the other really cool things that these types of mounts afford you is the ability to one, have a more heads-up shooting position, as well as being able to passive aim through your night vision device. That is just something that's going to help you as the in-shooter a little bit more there as well. Now, also to complement my aim point, because I personally favor the ability to be able to be quick and accurate at closer distances with this particular setup, and then also have the ability to reach out to distance, I have got a 3x magnifier piggybacked on the back of this. Now keep in mind that there are going to be limitations to magnifiers. Generally speaking, the eye relief is absolute trash. I mean, even with this setup that I have here, I've got to collapse the stock in a little bit more to actually be able to get, I mean, even back here behind where my normal length of pull is out for the plate carrier, it's too long. I got to collapse that stock way in there and then crunch up to the gun to even be able to see it. But again, guys, this is a setup that is favoring the night vision use, and the ability to reach out and PID a little bit further is just a secondary forethought of a kind of a break class in case of needed thing. In fact, this is just QD'd onto this rail right here, and I can, usually I will have this knocked off and I will actually just run it without the magnifier. I'll throw the magnifier either in my pocket or in my pack, and then I've got a little rail section right here to keep dirt and debris off of the little Picatinny rail section back there as well. But that's kind of my reasoning for that setup there. This is something that I can throw on there if I need it, but normally I'll just keep this kind of thing off of here. But just to showcase for you guys today, it's living on the gun. Moving on forward, so the complementing attachments that I personally like to use on this gun. Now, as far as white lights go, again, 50% of the day is shrouded in darkness, also moving in and around buildings. A lot of times, even if it's daylight outside, you're not going to be able to see quite as well inside a building, especially if you're coming outside and moving inside of a structure. Good to have a white light on there to be able to PID, peek into rooms and dark corners a little bit better, peek into closets to be able to see. So that is a reasoning for having a white light on there. It's always good to any kind of your fighting rifles, unless it's something like an SPR maybe. It's good to have some kind of supplemental light on there as well. For me personally, I'm running a Mod Light OKW with an Arisaka inline mount that keeps it in line with the rail right here, makes it fit nice and snug to the side of the gun. Not really too much of a terrible snag hazard there with that. Personally, I don't like running my light far out. You know, I know you see a lot of guys that they'll run the light bars where the flashlight's coming like way out there next to the suppressor. I've had Arisaka inline mounts and M-LOK mounts break in the past while using those when bumping them off barricades. So personally, I'm going to bump that back, and I also like to shoot unsuppressed sometimes, so I'll push that light back behind the muzzle device so you're not beating up the flashlight either. But these also work really well for barricade stops. So if you're working through something like a VTAC barricade or anything like that, keeping the light back here a little bit further back, it's going to help in that aspect as well. Sometimes even generally you see it where it'll be run perfectly even with the edge of the rail, if not a little bit further back, so you don't risk resting that barrel on a barricade and deflecting your shots like that. As far as the switchology goes for this, I've just got a Surefire dual lead tape switch here. So I've got the white light button here for the front that I can actuate, and then generally I will just rest my hand up here and press against the back end of the PEC so I'm not accidentally NDing that white light. And then if I need to use it, I can press back. And then the tape switch itself for the PEC 15, this is a secondary activation method from the button. I like to have a completely different feel, movement, and location versus my white light with my laser aiming module. Reason being is you don't want to, in a hurry, reach back and try and get back to your button back here to actuate your laser and then accidentally ND that light. So I like to have a completely different one up here. But if for whatever reason something happened to that laser aiming module, I like to have a secondary switch up there. Now, tail caps, I do have just a lead tail cap. I've been meaning to get into the one with the clicky button as well, but every time I go to buy one, they're always out of stock. So it's kind of lived on here. I'm going to eventually get a Unity gas cap for that as well, and then just do the shorter mod button style switches for both the PEC and the light. But for now, this is how it rides. As far as the laser aiming module goes, I've got a full power PEC 15 mounted on top right here, and it's going to be zeroed slave to the optic at 50 yards for the vertical, and then the horizontal, I just look out the distance about 300 yards and the horizontal, I bring it in. I believe they call that a converging zero. Reason being, you want to think as your dot and your laser aren't perfectly aligned with each other, so you kind of have to tilt and basically create an X there. The closer you are, the more extreme that X is going to be. The further you zero that horizontal, the less extreme that angle is going to be. So essentially with this, with a setup with the horizontal slaved at 300 yards, it's just going to be 300 yards, you're going to be a ½ inch or whatever off, and then at 0 yards, you're going to be a ½ inch or whatever off. You're not really going to have to worry about it. So that's how I've got that set up there. And as far as everything else on the gun goes, it's very much set up to be running the gun hard. I run rail panels on these things because just running the bare rail, if you run this gun hard, you will not be able to hold it. Especially these Centurion rails, they're relatively thin and they get extremely hot extremely fast. So you're going to run into that problem as well whenever you're doing these. So it's good to have a polymer rail panel on here. Don't do aluminum ones. Aluminum rail panels are just, they're going to get hot like the rail will as well. And then a vertical foregrip here. Main reason being is it works really good for a barricade stop, so you can press the whole thing into a barricade if you need to and kind of brace off of it and run the gun fast, or just good as an index point to hold and shoot and control the gun. Then lastly, as always, a good sling. Sling to a rifle, as is what a holster is to a pistol. They are absolutely necessary in all of your rifle setups. So again, guys, nothing super complex with the close quarters fighting rifle I have set up here. Just keeping with the same themes I do with everything else. Is everything that you need, nothing you don't. Taking up space, causing weight, making the rifle less wieldy or more difficult to use. So without further ado, guys, we've got a bunch of other shooters that are going to be coming out here with very similarly set up rifles. We'll go ahead, go over what everybody is running, and then we're going to place these things head to head in a similar fashion as we did with the 14.5 video. And we're going to be running a series of drills to compare the different guns. So let's get it done. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and get to the accuracy portion of this. Now, I know I'm going to get a bunch of guys screaming and crying in the comments about how I'm not shooting off of the most stable platform that I can find, like a bipod or even a bag, and how I'm using a dot instead of a magnified optic. The purpose of this video is to showcase the performance of these weapons in the configuration that you guys are most likely going to be using them in. If you got an 11.5 inch rifle, you're probably not going to be running a 5-25 ATAC or something like that on the gun. More than likely, you're going to be running either an aim point or an aim point style of optic, or an EOTech or an EOTech style of optic. And the most likely use case for you guys is going to be using a magnifier, or even some of the guys might be running a prism style optic as well. So this is the configuration that I run this gun in. It's the configuration that the majority of you guys are going to be running yourselves in, so that's what I'm going to show. Now keep in mind, whenever you're seeing groups like this shot out of these guns, Centurion barrels, in at least my experience, have been pretty accurate barrels. We've got a couple of 14.5s out that we've ran, as well as some 18 inches that we've had out. And with match ammunition, every one of them have been MOA, if not a little bit better. But I am going to be shooting 62 grain M855 ball ammo here today for the accuracy test, because again, the majority of guys are going to be running ball ammo out of these guns, not match ammunition. Now, as far as the optic goes, keep in mind that the dots inside of an aim point are a 2 MOA dot, meaning at 50 yards they're going to be covering a 1 inch area on the target. 100 yards you're going to be covering a 2 inch area on the target, and at 200 yards you're going to be covering a 4 inch area on that target. So you're not getting an infinitely fine aiming point like you would with a 5-25. You could get probably a little bit better groups out of this ammunition with a 5-25. But again, guys, I'm running it in the configuration that you're going to be running these weapons. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead, print 5 rounds on the little 1 inch pasty that I've got pasted on here. The dot inside of this optic is completely obscuring that pasty, so I'm just covering it with the dot. Optics don't help you shoot better, they help you see better, but you can't shoot what you can't see. In the finer aiming point, you're definitely going to be able to get better groups than you are with a larger aiming point like a 2 MOA dot. So keep that in mind when you see the groups. You can bicker and gripe all you want, but again, running this gun in the configuration that the majority of you guys are going to be running it in. So, without further ado, let's go ahead, get this done. And again, as far as the positioning that I'm using off of a bipod, I've already showcased with my 14.5-inch gun, where I shot the exact same size group with the same ammunition as I did on a bipod versus I did with a off a magazine. It's just fundamentals. You can shoot perfectly good groups off of a magazine. Do it all the time. Let's go down there and take a look at it. All right, guys, and there you have it. So not too terribly bad there with a 3x magnifier and an aim point. If I had to guess, that group is probably pushing right at, if not just a hair under 2.5 MOA, which to me is perfectly acceptable with ball ammunition and the optics setup that I am running on this gun. Keep in mind, again, I've got a 2 MOA aiming point that I'm using on this thing. So as far as the overall group sizing goes for what you're looking at here, could I do maybe a hair tighter if I was running something like a regular rifle scope with a 1/4 MOA finer aiming point? I had a finer aiming point on the pace that I was able to actually look at. Yes, I could, but optics don't really help you shoot better. They help you see better, but you can't hit what you can't see. And keep in mind, realistically, this is the setup that the majority of y'all are going to be running on your guns. So that'll be it for the accuracy portion on this. Gonna go ahead, get the rest of the guys out here, showcase the different builds that they are all using, and then go ahead and kick this comparison of 11.5s off.
All right, so this is my 11.5, honestly the best one out of the group. The YHM suppressor, mod light, flashlight, a PEC that doesn't work is just here for looks, because looking cool is half the battle. MC, MR, BCM rail, got the hot pocket with Magcool rail panels because this bitch gets hot. 11.5 Roscoe barrel, got the poverty pony lower because every cowboy needs his horse. E2 Armory gold bolt carrier, got the bad lever because Keith doesn't like it. Primary Arms 5X optic, poor man's ACOG with the 509T red dot on top for close things.
Shit, ready?
Ready.
Fight!
All right, so this is an 11.5 Centurion upper. Laser module is M6TR, RC2 Mini, Surefire. EOTech lower is a FCD Ambi, and that's it. Oh, and the bulk carry group is the Scalper from Sons of Liberty.
Fight!
So, 11.5, we got a Criterion Core 11.5 barrel, ripcord, LDR, handguard. I've got a Surefire RC2 can on there, mod light, PLH V2, and we got the Somo Gear N-Gall EXPS 3-0 on a Castle mount that brings a 226, and then we got the Sons of Liberty BCG, Geisley charging handle, and a Geisley SDE trigger.
Shit, ready?
Yep.
Fight!
All right, stock arrow upper, 11.5, streamlight, primary arms 1 to 8, Delta Point Pro, Poverty Pony lower,
Oh yeah.
ALG trigger,
There you go.
the Veltor A5, whatever the hell deal, actually does help, and a Sons of Liberty bulk carrier group. Just got it.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Fight! What does dominant mean?
Shooter ready. Stand by. Contact.
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 That taking me?
Yep.
Ah, that 5X, baby. Contact. Oh, the loud sound of the gunfight. This boy's killed in these streets.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Fight! 2 shots. Come on. There you go. Fight! Fight! Shooter ready?
Yeah.
As you'll ever be. I'm tired, boss.
I am.
Fight!
What's this for? Yeah. Fuck me, bro. I fucked up. I totally forgot the whole round count. I'm fucking up today.
It's in there now, though. Keep fucking up, Thomas. Keep fucking up. Fight! Can't count. For fuck's sake, Anthony. Stop fucking it up. Shooter ready?
Yeah.
Fight! There you go.
Are we
He said that like Robert F. Kennedy. Sprained it 4 times.
shooting while moving?
Yeah, shooting while moving for the first 2 hammered pairs. Shooter ready?
Yes.
Fight. Reload. Bam, sling. That cone is right in the way. Yeah. Fight!
Oh.
Fuck. Bullshit. Oh, why am I pulling my pistol mags out like a dumbass?
Fight! Damn, son. Stand by. Fight.
Fuck.
You and Thomas both, man.
No! This is so scuffed. Oh, last round, too.
Force of fire.
Yep.
Stand by. Contact.
Oh, shit.
Good shit. There we go.
Do two?
Yeah. Perfect. Shooter, stand by. Fight.
Hit it twice in that side, I don't think.
Fight. You gotta hit the target, boss.
Yeah, the laser's obviously not on.
Remember, you're low right on your laser, so don't forget that. All right, go, move.
Left. Where's one of them? Right there.
Good, move. It's off.
Wasn't hitting before.
You're low right on your laser. There you go. There you go.
That's good, I guess.
Yep.
Either that or this thing's just not holding zero.
Perfect.
Shooter ready?
Yeah.
Fight. There you go.
Where's the other one?
Left. Way left. 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 Yeah, right there.
Ah, fuck.
Move.
Left.
Bitch.
Just turn it off.
Yeah, keep turning it off and get the shot.
Get in the shadow. That's the shadow. It's left of that. Just a tiny bit. Left and down there. Yeah.
Stand by. Fight. Stand by. Fight. Fight.
I gotta remember, there's no hide over board with this.
Fight.